Oh, 3, 2, 2, 2, 1, 7. It's the Overdose Talk Show. It's me and Andrea and David Box tonight. Andrea, how do you do?
Hello, I do well. How do you do?
Yeah, I'm fine. What's going on with you? Anything?
I played whirly ball for the first time the other day. That was horrendous.
Whirly ball is the best, dude. I didn't know you were gonna
Actually,
go.
it was. It was really fun. They took us on a field trip for work.
Yeah, you didn't tell me. Sounds very, very mature, but you didn't tell me you were gonna go play whirly ball. I fucking love whirly ball. For anybody that doesn't know, whirly ball is this game. I don't know. Do they have it around the country, or is that just like
I have absolutely no idea. Yeah, they do, because there are national whirly ball leagues that you can join.
Oh, okay.
And they do a national competition, so they have to be somewhere else.
Yeah, so you're in this go-kart, and I don't know if this is how it was when I was a kid. It's like you're in a go-kart, but instead of a steering wheel, there's like this weird crank, and it goes.
Yeah, totally.
It's like reversed, so you have to steer the opposite way that you think you should.
Yeah.
And then
and also wait.
Hold on. We gotta explain the game really quick. There's like a goal on each side, and it's basically like a backboard of a basketball hoop. Just the backboard with like a net in the middle of it, kind of, right?
Right.
And then everybody's got one of those scoopers that you scoop up a wiffle ball or whatever, and you know what I mean? Those curvy toss scoops.
It's like a lacrosse scoop.
Yeah, from lacrosse.
Oh, right,
with no
right.
stick on it.
Right, and you drive around and two teams try to hit that backboard basically with the wiffle ball.
But the go-kart is also partially a bumper car.
It's a bumper
like a really
car.
Fast
it's
bumper
not
car.
It's not a go-kart. It's a bumper car. That's what it is. You're right.
No, but it's way faster than a regular bumper car. It's like halfway between.
What do you think the people that take this shit seriously and compete on a national level are like?
Oh,
I don't know.
Like
it's
the
such
fiercest
a
competitors.
game. It's crazy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things like that, and we say hello to David Box, by the way.
Hi.
There's
Whirly
a
ball hard, bro.
There's a ton of things like that you don't know are really going on. Like I've told you guys before about that Scrabble documentary, because I got really into Scrabble, and there was this documentary about like the national Scrabble circuit, and it focused on the personalities of all these people and it's fucking weirdos that play that do this weird get it. There's a guy I was talking to the other day. It does like the national what is the game like Deer Hunter or Buck Hunter or whatever that shit is, the arcade game.
Yeah, totally.
You know what I'm talking about with the rifle?
I think it's Deer Hunter. Yeah.
Whatever it is, he goes to the national competition every year and does this, and you got to play this game all fucking year to qualify and stuff. And it's this and then they all go there, and compete for a couple days and get fucked up, I think, and whatever. But yeah, there's a lot of shit like that you have to be a nerd of that thing to even know about.
Even know, yeah.
Yeah, and it is totally probably a bunch of weirdos in the whirly ball league, I would guess.
Well, and also here's the other thing is you can get smashed into pretty hard, and there's no protection from anything. I have a bruise where my thumb turns into my hand.
Yeah.
If you can imagine that.
Sure, that old trick. Yeah.
But yeah, it was really fun. But then I came home. I played for 2 hours, and then I came home and slept. I took a 4-hour nap. It was exhausting.
Whirly ball's exhausting. I remember whirly ball actually, it's probably better known now. When I was a little kid, nobody had ever heard of it, and we went and played. There was one place, and we went and played.
Yeah.
And I remember we were at a birthday party the next week at Chuck E. Cheese. We were like 9, and we were at a birthday party the next week, and this other group of kids around our age was having a birthday party next to us, and they heard us talking about whirly ball, and they thought it was like the funniest shit they'd ever heard of. And we saw them like an hour or two later, and we walked by, and they all started chanting whirly ball, whirly ball, whirly ball. Like 30 kids were like, yeah, whirly ball.
Just celebrating its existence.
Yeah.
Is that what that was?
Basically, they
told us about this thing.
They just liked the name of it. That was about it. But I'll never forget that, just seeing like a whole crowd of kids chanting whirly ball for no reason. So okay, let's get on to the meat of the show. Let's bite down into the flesh here. You know what I'm saying? Because we're no vegetarian cucks. We're gonna rip the muscle and sinew from the bone of these topics tonight.
Yeah.
Comment. Let's respond to a comment. Somebody said something that I thought was kind of interesting. We talked about my Paul Joseph Watson rebuttal video last show, and it's on that video where I'm basically saying, I don't think it's a big deal for Snoop Dogg to have done that little bang bang trick to clown Donald Trump and try to sort of make it look like he was shooting him in the head. And he says, here's Mepic Hulagaway on YouTube says, the Overdose talk show, the difference here is that Kid Rock did not make a music video artistically bang-banging former President Obama. I think Snoop is promoting hate, in my opinion, and I basically said, yeah, maybe, but I don't really think it's a problem. And then he said, this is the interesting thing. What about a music video promoting pedophilia in the form, of some in the form of art? But I was going to try to paraphrase. Basically what he's saying is, what if people are using the justification of art to promote something like pedophilia? Should this be a real concern? My opinion is that death threat music arts and pedophilia video arts are both bad ideas. Arts has limitation too. So I wanted to respond to that because that's not an idea that I'm comfortable with, even just the idea that art should have limitations. And when you say something like that, you're sort of implying that you're making the implication that that has to be enforced somehow. So then we get into the area of when will we ever trust something like a government or anything? I don't know what it would be, but to create a criteria in which art should be limited. You know what I mean? I'm not I thought it was an interesting point because, of course, yeah, you would hate to see like a popular music video promoting pedophilia, and I think that's probably, people will make the case that that's probably already happened. But you don't want to like stand up for that idea. But I don't know that I can envision any scenario where I'd be comfortable with some authoritarian group or bureaucratic wing or whatever making it, enforcing what can and can't be considered art.
Yeah, but people feel like they have the right to not be offended.
Right.
Yeah, well, and that might be the answer too, is like, you got to let them make the pedophile video, because in the end what we're really talking about is the freedom to express any opinion and the freedom of everyone else to say whether or not it's fucked up or bullshit. So it's like
totally, but also it's already.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's already illegal to use a child and portray them in a sexual manner, or like have an adult who represents a child who's portrayed in a sexual manner. Like, it would be a lot harder to produce that art without actually breaking a law about it.
Well, but say that they did, and they didn't break a law technically, and they were just promoting the
But
idea.
how? What does that look like?
Well, what if they CGI'd? I mean,
or somebody was just
still illegal.
Or someone was just expressing the view that pedophilia is not wrong, or something like that. I mean, there would be ways to do it that I don't think would be technically illegal. But all I'm saying though is, like, I think you got to let them do it, and let everybody else look at it and go, what are you, fucking retarded and crazy pedophile?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's like capitalism.
The
social climate will decide.
Yeah, and it's generally, I would like to think it's not going to like sway anyone who was anti-pedophile. The idea is that I don't think it's possible that they could make a good argument, so it's not a dangerous argument, I guess, in my view. And it's ugly, and it might be annoying, and it might bring up a lot of terrible emotions for people. But you also got to balance it with, even if that was a thing, like, how many people out there in the world do you really think there would be that would even want to do that? So interesting question, but
all right, hold on, I've got another one. Let's see. It was not the New York Times. I'm trying to figure out who it was. Recently, a major media outlet published an article about how there are good pedophiles and not all pedophiles are bad, and pedophilia should be considered like an emotional or mental disease more than an infraction against the law.
Yeah, no, there's been a lot of people that have made that case for years.
If an editorial piece if an editorial piece like that is considered art, then promoting the idea of pedophilia has been represented widely in art forms in that way.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think there would be people that would, some of the people on YouTube especially, that dissect like Super Bowl things or music videos or whatever, and you know, I'm sure that they'll make the case that it's been done and done.
Right.
But yeah, okay. So
not that it makes it good, but it is happening.
Here's another one. I mean, did we pretty much answer? I don't know what else to say about that question.
Yeah.
You know, my view on it is just that I can't imagine a way that to, you know, any kind of scenario where I'd be comfortable with the government making that decision. Even because it always starts with something obvious. Well, would it be okay if they made it illegal to make pro-pedophilia videos? Yeah, I don't think anybody would really get up in arms about that specific thing. What you'd get up in arms about is the precedent that it would set. And and to me, I guess I'm somebody that you know, the inherent, the sort of like the small percentage of people that are going to behave evilly in a free society, it's worth dealing with that to not descend into total government tyranny. That's always my view on any issue of freedom versus safety, is usually, you know, that we have to choose freedom.
Right.
And, you know, in reality, the people who would be creating that art, who do you think it's going to be? And it's likely going to be the victims, right? Because the people in power aren't grabbing a fucking paintbrush and drawing fucking pedophilia pictures from the shit that they did last night, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, and, like, I'm assuming that this is painting, but, like, don't you think most of that art would come from a place of, like, suffering and everything? And
a reflection of their experience.
Right, and it's an opportunity for people to deal with it as a society rather than stuff it down, which is likely something that allows it to continue. You know, everyone's turning a fucking blind eye to the whole thing, and maybe, you know, something like that would create a good conversation.
Yeah, I think you're more talking about someone's expressive work being misinterpreted rather than, I think this guy is going for like the what if they just came out and said, let's, you know, pedophilia is fine. But a lot of people, you know, the conversation is going there. I saw that you guys have seen this. I think we may have even talked about this before, that there's that company that's making or is going to make or whatever, like child sex dolls. You remember that?
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah.
And
because their idea was that if they produced the child sex dolls, it would satisfy pedophiles' urges instead of encouraging them.
Sure, and
so that they wouldn't offend against a real child.
Other people saying like, no, that'll just cultivate the feeling, and they'll eventually want to graduate to the real thing. Yeah, I don't think I'm in support of child sex dolls. That just seems like a creepy concession to make. You know, like, okay, well, we'll acknowledge you guys absolutely need to do this, so let's come up with a realistic child sex doll for you to use. That just seems very fucking creepy and the wrong direction to go to me. I don't know. You know, but that's a huge argument right now. You'll find people on both sides of that all over the place, where people go, look, we got to try something to get these people under control. So,
oh man, how would you like to be on the team designing that thing?
You would have to. How would you like to pitch that idea in like a boardroom? Like, look, you're gonna want to stick with me here and hear me out, because I think there's a big untapped market out there that nobody else is really willing to go after. No, hold on. They just start booing and throwing things at you.
Yeah,
dude. Well, you know, what did you say? Advertising? Is that what you said? David Box?
You talking?
Yeah.
No, I don't
what
think
were you
I
saying?
No, how would you like to be on the team, like designing this? Like, looking at
like
your engineer buddy, like,
yeah.
shit, I don't know. Would you bang this kid? No, man. Fuck.
Yeah, I was gonna say, as far as advertising, they that's the one area where there would be no morals compromised whatsoever. You'll give me money? Yeah, I'll do anything. I'll say it or do anything. Doesn't matter. The one area where there'd be no problem, no questions of ethics. But so yeah, I've seen a lot of arguments about that. People going, you gotta let them fucking fuck the child sex dolls, or they might fuck the real kids. Yeah, why does this have to be such a big part of our lives and the conversation these days? Like, how many fucking pedophiles are out there? We really still have no idea. That's been, in our lifetime, really even just the past like 10 or 15 years is the first time that there's been any kind of national awareness and any real discussion about it. We're still trying to figure it out. It seems the more and more we cover it and look into stuff, it's just mind-blowing. Like, I start to think, like,
so many people.
Like, is there pedophiles just walking around everywhere? Like, are some of the people I know doing this?
Like, who is not a pedophile?
Exactly. Like, where the fuck is this coming from? So whatever. Dr. Phil, you sent me this. Did some show on this even recently.
Yeah. This is from actually yesterday, Tuesday the 21st.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago that stories like this only existed on YouTube or Reddit or whatever. They weren't discussing it on mainstream television, and if they did, it was a very kind of glossed over sort of mention of like few stats, few whatever. But yeah, to hear like a real person's testimony who seems to be brainwashed, like this episode of Dr. Phil goes into, they didn't used to do this a very, very short time ago. So
no.
The whole thing is getting pushed into the mainstream at this point. Do you guys want to check a little bit of this out, or Andrea, you want to set it up or anything, or what should we do?
Yeah, we could. Well, he has this girl on who claims to have been part of this, born into a sex trafficking ring, right. And when you hear her talk, you can hear like how, for lack of a better word, she's brainwashed. She like can't function in the outside world. She's been like trying to go to therapy and it's not helping. She feels like no one believes her and no one wants to help her.
Yeah. Is this was there anything about an RFID chip that she had removed? I saw something about that earlier.
No, that wasn't her. That was a separate story.
Okay,
yeah.
I mixed that up. All right. But yeah, that was another thing they said in that RFID article. They're like, if you went into most hospitals with this story that you were being trafficked and had a tracking chip in you and blah blah, they'd end up in the mental institution. Nobody would believe you. That's very common, which is nuts. Like they went through that with the Franklin cover up, and the whole Paul Bonacci thing is like he ended up in prison because they said he was lying.
Right. So what's really interesting about this is she never mentions anybody's names. Yeah. She refers to her owner as the man who owns me. Hey, oh my goodness.
Bless you.
Thank you. And we were kind of thinking, that might be. They reference organizations that they don't say. Dr. Phil says he's spoken to people confidentially regarding her case, and that he 100% believes her, but they don't really give a lot of detail. Probably because they don't want to tip their hand. That's what I would guess.
Well, and also people tend to die in weird plane crashes and auto accidents and shoot themselves 8 times in the head when they get involved with stuff like this. And I don't blame people for not wanting to poke their head up over the rest of the crowd and really, there's I get nervous even from our dumb show shit we say. Like, God, I mean, if we were to get really successful and be talking to 10,000 people or something, it's like I'd be really fucking scared, honestly, to talk about some of this stuff.
Well, and we've talked about that from the beginning. The people who follow this trail end up dead. Yeah. Always.
Yeah. Me and our.
So that's another thing that's really interesting about this is that this girl is out and about. I was talking about that earlier too, about how Paul Bonacci got locked up right away for saying about the things that he had done. This girl has admitted to she killed a baby. The man who owned her made her kill a baby.
They all have stories like that. Yeah.
She raped a 5-year-old boy.
Yeah, like a number of times. She was just like, and then once I got to a certain age and then the boys turned 5, then I started raping boys.
Yeah, well, she was forced to.
Yeah.
For a show for someone else. So it's like she goes on to say that she didn't know if she was raping them or if she was being raped by them. It was just like an obscene thing.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, let's get into this a little bit.
Yeah, let's listen to some of it.
I'm just going to start it a couple minutes in.
Kendall's story begins when she was a newborn and her parents sold her to a powerful man who owns a dangerous international sex trafficking organization, a man she says still owns her and wants her back. Kendall says every glamorous event and plane ride was with a wealthy client who paid for her so they could abuse her in ways, well, they're just simply too horrendous to comprehend. Now, for nearly 4 months, we researched Kendall's story, trying to...
The audience shot looking very thoughtful at that. Ooh.
Yeah.
Verify its authenticity. And after speaking confidentially to agencies, we were able to confirm that Kendall has, in fact, been trafficked. Here's what she told us.
I was born into this world of sex trafficking. It's the only life I've ever known. Since I left, everything has been so hard, and nobody except the man who owns me can help me. I was given to the man who owns me by my birth parents.
Yeah, she's about as classic an abuse victim. Like, if she's not, she's trying really hard to look like one. But no, they already, I guess the TV man said that they confirmed it. But I don't know why I readily accept things from television that I want them to be saying, you know?
Yeah.
I'm so skeptical
TV
of
said
everything.
it must be true.
Yeah. But no, she's got that very, like, child, you know, she talks like a 5-year-old, has the really kind of 1,000-yard stare, fixed, nervous jaw kind of thing going on. Yeah, she's classic.
And I was forced to have sex with clients. One of my first memories was thinking that it was normal for men to be fondling babies. My whole life I traveled all over the world and would go to some of the biggest events to meet clients and have sex with them. They were all extremely rich and prominent members of society. Sometimes they would just want to have sex with me, and sometimes they'd make me have sex with different people. The clients were often physically abusive. Clients were even allowed to smother me with a pillow or plastic bag while having sex with me, but they were never allowed to leave marks or bruises on my face because I always had to look pretty. The man who owns me constantly manipulated me and did horrible things to me. He would make me be a dog, made me eat feces. I was kept in a cage. Sometimes he would electrocute me as punishment. He said...
I can't believe they're showing this on regular television, honestly.
Yeah, it's crazy. Daytime television, too.
Yeah, I mean, it's good.
It gets real bad.
Yeah, it gets, I mean, she goes into a lot of detail. It gets really dark.
In this little segment that we're listening to? Or
no,
later?
Throughout the episode.
Yeah.
Oh, like what kind of stuff?
Like, she talks about her experience killing an infant baby.
Jesus Christ.
Because, like, a guy tricked her into holding it the wrong way and she was a dum-dum or something.
Well, how the hell was she supposed to know?
Well, yeah.
She doesn't know how old she is.
Yeah.
She said that she guesses she's about 23 based on, like, quizzes that she's taken online.
What? Really? Because her life was
she's
just
like on Facebook.
Her life was just a blur of torture. She has no idea.
Yeah, he asks her at one point, he's like, how many clients would you see in a day? And she was like, a lot of times I had no idea when a day would begin or end. So I don't know how to answer that.
She does not look 23, by the way.
No, she looks older, but she's lived a very horrific, stressful life. So, like, who knows?
I would have guessed, like, 35, something like that.
Well, she said that she found, like, a BuzzFeed article about you're a child of the 90s if you remember these things. And she uses stuff like that to figure out about how old she is.
Well,
so, like, she had some exposure to, like, TV and stuff and, like, the world, you know?
Yeah. Holy fuck. Do we want to keep going with this for a minute or what?
If you want to. I mean, we kind of got the idea, but she gets pretty specific. And she doesn't say anybody's name. She only refers to the man who owns me. She talks about how she, like, feels like she has to go back there, even though she's out and, like, people are trying to help her. She feels like no one can help her and nobody loves her and she needs to go back to him.
Yeah, yeah.
And that she, like, feels guilty because there's a bunch of people still.
Sorry.
Because there's a bunch of other people who are still there and, like, she feels like she's supposed to be there. Well, and also the other thing is that this guy told her that she was created for this specific purpose. He said, your parents had you specifically to sell you to me for this. This is what you were created for. You don't have a purpose in the world.
Right. I mean,
except for this.
And that's a fucking unbelievably common scenario, is parents selling their kids into these fucking situations. Just total sociopaths. And they don't even get that much money in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
You know, we've read like about people doing it for like $8,000. You know.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus fucking Christ. Unbelievable.
Which is nothing to her.
You can't even.
She said that
imagine, you know, the fucking the evil of that. Yeah, just.
She saw this guy purchase 3 cars at one time with cash, literally like $1 million cash.
Yeah, but they never say who it is, huh?
Right.
But how are they able to confirm it? They confirmed it with agencies, he said. How are they able to confirm it? Like, do they know who he is? Are they aware of this?
Well,
and they're
maybe.
For some reason, he's untouchable, like.
Or maybe they just don't have like enough evidence to make sure that they get him.
I mean, from everything we've heard, and a lot of this is rumors and stuff, but you know, there seems to be a split in places like the FBI where certain people are getting really. There's a camp that's really getting fed up with stuff like pedophilia and the stuff that just they don't enforce and go after, and the way that they let, you know, billionaires get away with whatever the fuck they want, and people and powerful people get away with whatever the fuck they want. And I hope that that's true, and I hope that there are people trying to work from inside those places and start doing something about really, I mean, honestly, like it's been so apparent in so many cases that law enforcement and the FBI worked to cover up pedophile rings, if anything. You know, it's right in front of your face in a ton of different cases. So I would like to believe there's these people in there that want that to stop, you know.
Now, later in this episode, though, they have another woman comes on to kind of be like, oh, you still have hope. You can have a normal life. Look at me. She had been her mom's boyfriend prostituted her from when she was like 8 years old. But she drops his name hard. And she's like, so-and-so, whatever his name is, used to be an elementary school teacher. We lived in this town, and here's what he did. So he must have been convicted because she says his name like 4 times, and she's like, so-and-so, the elementary school teacher.
And he was part of this, he was someone that used her services.
He was the guy. No, he was the one who was hooking her.
Okay. Yeah, dude, there's so many of these stories that came out. Years ago, I used to watch this lady called Arizona Wilder, who basically had this exact same story, you know.
Yeah.
And she was, I think, if I remember right, Andrew, you got some info on her, right? Because isn't she partially or wholly responsible for people kind of knowing about like besides David Icke? Didn't she bring like a giant lawsuit against a bunch of powerful people? And in the lawsuit, she claimed that they were reptilian shapeshifters that raped her?
Yeah, she claims to have seen them firsthand shapeshift into reptilians. Here, let's see. I had a list of names.
Yeah, Arizona Wilder. She's been out there for years. I don't know what's going on with her now. Most of her videos seemed kind of old, but she was also somebody that talked about the Franklin cover-up, and I believe that she claimed to have had been abused by Larry King, not the Larry King from TV, but the Larry King that owned the Franklin Credit Union.
Yeah.
So what does she say? Or what was the lawsuit?
Let's see. She describes human sacrifice rituals involving the Pope, the Clintons, the Reagans, both George Bushes, various members of the royal family, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, and the likes of Bob Hope and other celebrities. Describe them as snarling, hideous creatures. How they distinguished them from participating politicians is unclear. I'm not sure what they mean by that. But when she described the Queen, that was supposed to be a stupid joke. I see. All politicians are lizards. Okay. When she describes the Queen, she said, I've seen her sacrifice people and eat their flesh and drink their blood. One time she got so excited with bloodlust that she didn't cut the victim's throat from left to right in the normal ritual. She just went crazy, stabbing and ripping at the flesh after she'd shape-shifted into a reptilian. When she shape-shifts, she has a long reptile face, almost like a beak, and she's an off-white color. And that's she did a book with David Icke called The Biggest Secret, and it's all about that's an excerpt from that.
Yeah, and she's just one. I mean, I've seen so many of these people that basically have similar stories.
Yeah.
You know, I just can't write them all off as crazy, especially when there's so much proof that this stuff goes on.
No, and she.
I mean, not proof of people shape-shifting. I'm talking about elite, just powerful pedophile rings.
Yeah, and she was, again, born with what they're calling her destiny already predetermined.
Right.
And she was brought to Russia a bunch of times as a child, which was supposed to, they immersed her in ice-cold water to bring near-death experiences, which would awaken her latent psychic abilities. And she worked with Joseph Mengele.
Oh, yeah, her story
is
is crazy. I forgot about all that, yeah. Yeah, but you know what, though? She's one of those people that, as crazy as all of that sounds, it's remarkable how when you listen to her speak, she doesn't sound crazy at all. You know, she sounds very lucid and calm, and, you know, she's not a sensationalist. I don't think she's ever fucking made any money off of this, except for, you know, nothing significant, I would guess. So, yeah, it's I don't know, it's very interesting.
It's very interesting. It also, like, people have tried to discredit her, but no one has really done it in as well of a way as her story has been supported.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Sure.
All of the creditation outweighs the discreditation.
Yeah. And I mean, and there's hours and hours and hours on YouTube. You guys can check that out and check out the Dr. Phil episode, whatever.
Yeah, watch that episode. It gets fucking. They go into like some bizarre detail for having it be a daytime network television show. I'm really curious to see what's going to happen as a result of this. Yeah. And I honestly don't feel like it would have been just a publicity stunt for him.
Mm-hmm.
I think he realizes it'll get him views, but I don't think that he would have endorsed a story quite so serious without actually believing it. Even though I think he's a hack and he is just a horrible interviewer. Do you ever watch his interviews?
I don't know. He's always been awful. No, yeah.
He'll ask a question and he'll be like, "So how many clients would you see per day?" And she'll be like, "I don't know." It'll be like, "Is it 3 or is it 15?" "I don't know, 15." And did you ever talk to your birth parents? She's like, "Okay, new thing now, I guess. All right."
Yeah, just completely just changing directions all the time. Like,
yeah.
Well, that's often what's successful on TV. A lot of people are like that because that's the whole format is just wild twists and turns so that your brain goes to sleep. Like, all right.
You know, they don't really talk about how she got out of that system.
She probably can't. She's probably too scared to talk about how she escaped.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if she wound up in the hands of some honest authorities first, and then, or if this is like a planned event until, you know what I mean? Is it really him breaking the story, or did someone like put this in his lap? Because he goes out and gets her and like guides her to the audience, and it seems pretty staged and weird. But
yeah, but also she's like has a creepy disconnect from reality. She also, oh man,
well,
I
she
wish
would
I
though. I mean,
she talks about.
That's the other thing. A lot of these people that claim to be victims, they go, "Well, they're crazy. Look, they were diagnosed with this." Like, yeah, but you would be crazy if this was true. You know, you'd be completely out of your fucking mind. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, and she talks about the truth versus lies versus reality, and reality and the truth are not the same thing. There are things that are true, and there are things that are lies, and then there's reality, and they're three separate things.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, and she's like, the things that are true are that the man who owns me loves me, and that he's the only one who would ever take care of me. The things that are lies are that my situation is bad, and that I should be unhappy. And then there's reality, which is completely separate.
God, they really completely fuck these people up.
Yeah.
It's
it's a wonder that she even figured out that she was supposed to not have that life.
Well, that's what we've talked about that before too, how like a lot of people that do escape these situations, they just eventually one day walk out the door. they had never thought of it before, or they thought of it but were too afraid to, or whatever. Of a lot of cases, it just they've been under such control for so long that the captors get a little cocky or something, and they start taking them out in public, or they start leaving them alone on whatever, an unlocked place or whatever, and they eventually go, you know what, I think I'm just gonna go. The women in that house in Ohio or whatever it was, you remember that the guy had those women captive in his home for like 10 years.
Totally, and one of them called 911 while he was sleeping on the bed next to her.
Eventually, but like they had a million opportunities, but no, it wasn't that 911 thing. It was that
oh no,
they somehow got people's attention out the window or the door or something. But after being in there for years, they eventually left them unchained and left the house or something, and they went like, holy fuck, and you remember that whole thing, right? Anyways,
yeah, totally.
The point is they interviewed later and said, like, I don't know why we didn't try harder to get out. It just became our life.
We just didn't.
It just like eventually your brain kind of, maybe even to sort of try to protect you, it starts just normalizing whatever your situation is,
Yeah.
Like people in prison, eventually they're like, they're used to it.
Okay, well, I'm in prison now.
Right, yeah.
This girl on Dr. Phil talks about how she wants to go back to the man who owns her because that's where she belongs. She feels drawn back to him. And her advice to people that are still stuck there, if they perhaps got a chance to see this episode of Dr. Phil, is to stay there because coming out sucks, and because everything that he says will be validated and no one will help you. She said that.
Yeah.
Holy fucking Christ, dude. Jesus Christ. We got to get some more clips from this for the next show. It just came out yesterday. We didn't really have time. But we should play some of the really creepy clips on the next show. Because that is just... Totally. Imagine that. That is how debilitating this kind of stuff is. That's why it's about the most evil thing on the planet, and probably the most important thing to look into for so-called law enforcement agencies. That just imagine that. How fucked up that is. Holy fuck. I don't even know what else to say about it.
No, there's not. It's just like so beyond normal.
I got this here. First Democrat official tied to elite pedophile ring pleads guilty.
You remember this guy?
Former mayor of Hubbard, Ohio, Richard Keenan. Did we talk about him before?
Oh, yes.
What?
Yeah,
I don't remember this guy.
We covered him on the show. I remember Hubbard, Ohio.
Who was he? I don't remember talking about this. Sorry.
He just had some really creepy shit that he talked about. He described a 4-year-old rape victim as a willing participant.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Do you remember him? Yeah.
Yeah. Holy fucking Christ. Okay, so he admitted in court to raping a young child, and
he first admitted it to his wife and then also to his pastor.
He previously blamed the 4-year-old victim for initiating the acts, described her as a willing participant, and he's now facing life behind bars. The Youngstown. So this guy was arrested a long time ago.
Yeah, totally. But now he's yeah.
What year was this?
I don't know, but why are people saying first Democrat tied to elite pedophile ring pleads guilty? That sounds like a misleading headline.
Yeah, I don't think that he's the first ever tied
Democrat.
to it.
No, I mean, but is he? Where do you know who this 4-year-old was? They probably didn't make that public.
No, of course they can't say that. No.
So you don't know.
I just feel like the 4-year-old came on to me argument would not stand at any point in time that I remember.
Yeah,
I couldn't overpower her.
Yeah, it just like.
Yeah, that is like. Really, he had 3 seconds to come up with something. He's like, oh shit, I didn't expect him to ask me this. Look, she was asking for it.
Yeah.
See? Should have seen what she was wearing. She knew what she was doing.
Yeah. At what point in history were people going to be like, oh yeah,
I mean,
that makes sense.
Everybody knows I'm a pedophile. She knew what she had coming.
Yeah.
The Democrat mayor also confessed to the allegations to his pastor, social worker, brother, sister-in-law, according to documents filed by this blah-de-de-blah.
God, yeah. Sure bragged about that to a lot of people.
He couldn't wait, yeah. Yeah, the doctor was like, well, that's great, but why are you telling me this? Like, you kidding, Doc? I'm telling everybody. that old joke. WKRN reports that Keenan was visibly shaken Friday as he changed his plea to guilty on 20 counts of sex crimes, including 8 counts of rape. Keenan agreed to a life sentence with the eligibility of parole after 10 years. Okay. Jesus Christ. 4 years old. That's a real pedophile.
Drop in the bucket.
That's not one of those to catch a predator, like, wanted to fuck a 15-year-old when he was 23. That's a real insane pedophile. That's the real shit right there. He's going away. That's good, I suppose. Yeah, of course. Why don't you just throw him off a cliff or something? I don't understand. When are we going to get to that point where if you raped a 4-year-old, like what more use do we have for you? Are you kidding me? Let's just have, bring them back some like creative ways of executing people. The culture we've turned into. Do you know? Holy shit! You could raise money for charities. Do you know how much money you could raise in a pay-per-view fucking execution, a drawn quartering, or a fucking put him between 2 hot rods and tie his feet and hands to each and have him pull them apart or anything like that. You'd raise millions for charity.
Hot rods.
Yeah, hot rods.
It's true. I would not pay to see that. Would you?
I probably.
You probably would.
I probably would too, dude. I mean, you imagine.
Maybe for specific ones, like if one that super affected me and I was like, just super pissed off about it, maybe I would watch that. But
believe me,
I don't know.
There's got to be a million people in this country that would pay $10 each to watch a pay-per-view event of a guy who has raped a 4-year-old being slaughtered. And especially if they did like slow torture deaths. See, but our society will never
really get your money's worth.
With the super slow-mo cam.
Yeah, they'll never. Our society will never make that much sense. But no, it is why. I know. I mean, this is not like an edgy thing. It's not like nobody's ever said this before. But really, what possible fucking reason do we have for letting this guy live?
Is he alive?
Yeah, probably not for too long. going to prison for raping a 4-year-old is
that's what I mean.
Not a very safe situation. Jesus
no, that's
Christ.
One of those problems that resolves itself.
Hey guys, what are you in for?
You'll never guess what I did.
I like my idea: public executions to raise money for charities that try to stop.
Which charities?
I don't know, charities that help victims of child trafficking, something like that. It
funds Ashton Kutcher's
sure. Just
software.
Give it to Ashton Kutcher. He'll know what to do with it.
Yeah.
Whoever thought you'd say that?
Yeah. Okay, so he's going away. He's done. And I don't know.
Fuck you, Richard Keenan.
Yeah. Man, this is finally becoming a big thing. I saw that a lot of people are concerned with missing children in D.C. There's something going on with that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the whole story is, but they were having a big...
in the first 2 weeks of March, 7 girls went missing from Washington, D.C. They were all black. I don't know if that's coincidence or what.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, where are they going? Where are all the fucking missing kids going? The numbers are so ridiculous that there's no normal explanation that makes any sense.
No.
If it's not an organized, some kind of organized trafficking ring that's operating and that needs a lot of victims to feed into it, I don't know what the fuck it is. There's not 10 million random fucking child kidnappers and killers wandering the country. You know what I mean? It's something more concentrated, way more concentrated, obviously.
And if there's enough of a market where people will take children and send them to truck stops and say, go knock on the truck doors and see if anyone wants to fuck you. Like, that's common enough that it should be talked about a lot more.
Yeah.
Like, we shouldn't be the only people talking about it. It doesn't make any sense. It's happening all the time, everywhere. All the time.
My God. All right. Should we take a quick break and possibly talk to our old co-host when we come back?
Which one?
The Earthling from the very early days of the talk show. No one ever likes this, so let's do that.
No, yeah.
I get
this
people.
Is our most hateable segment.
Our few people that talk to me, that listen to the show all the time, get like mad. They're like, "Why do you let him come on?" I'm like, it's funny to us. I know it's not fun to listen to or for anyone else, but
don't care.
Yeah, we just. I mean, he's like our personal little train wreck that we can just pull out at any time. So, but then once in a while, he's like knows something about quantum physics, and you're like, who are you?
Yeah, why?
Yeah. All right, back in a minute. Yeah, we're back on the Overdose. Ready to blow your minds.
Look out, minds.
With some unprepared material dealing with reading from news articles. Mostly.
Yay.
So yeah, and everybody's going to be able to relax and not worry at this point because the Earthling is not going to be here. I don't know where he is. He was supposed to call in. He's not answering his phone. He's not responding. So fuck him.
You can all just relax.
Everybody, a collective sigh of relief rang out across the land as our international audience expressed its gratitude that the Earthling has fallen asleep.
Thank heavens.
Let's see. They tried to make Obama's birthday a holiday. You want to do that?
Yeah, because they should have done that.
You think so? That's where you come down on this?
Obama is a saint.
Yeah, man.
If anything, it should be a national holiday because, the first black president, it's like a huge milestone, right?
Yeah. And that I knew, that's almost a legitimate thing if every president wasn't evil, including him.
Right.
So, I would be all down for that kind of an achievement sort of thing, being, a historical blah-blah-blah, whatever. I mean, he was just the same fucking puppet as everybody else. It really wasn't anything special. They just gave you somebody who didn't look like everyone else so you would fucking go back to sleep. That's all.
And he was only half black. That's only half
true.
A milestone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he should
And he was a Muslim.
You should get half the day off work and they should put a half a statue up, just like one side of him.
Yeah. The black side, obviously.
Right. Yeah. The radical militant Muslim side. It's a secret Muslim.
Yeah.
Remember the thing about the ring that he wore?
Muslim.
That big controversy about the ring? That was true, though. It did appear that he wore that ring. It said there's no God other than Allah.
Yeah.
All right, whatever. So they tried to make his birthday a holiday. It got voted down, but narrowly by like 4 or 5 votes or something, wasn't it? It was 54 to 51. Okay.
6. Yeah.
So
yeah.
It says this would have cost $3.2 million in personnel expenses for state worker holiday pay, and nearly $16 million in lost productivity due to the day off. Is that a real number? We're looking at in Illinois. We're looking at a $16 million a day operation for all these useless fucking bureaucratic organizations that just make everyone's life hell.
I believe it. We have $13 billion worth of debt right now.
What do they mean $16 million in lost productivity? What does the government produce? What the fuck are they talking about? Are they talking, I mean, is that lost fines?
Yeah.
We're supposed to be sad.
Without all these people writing tickets.
Right, and what the fuck does that even mean? They don't produce anything. In $16 million in lost productivity. Yeah, that's one of those really twisted fucking definitions for sure.
Well, and then I feel like maybe they're counting that money twice then, too, because they're talking about the money that the taxpayers would pay them to have the day off, and then also the money from them not working that day, which...
Yeah, whatever it is, it's bullshit.
Yeah.
Let's see. So that's what they're concerned with. Let's get a new holiday for the president who was president until 2 months ago. I don't feel like that's not normal to give somebody a holiday right after they're done.
We have to honor his legacy because Trump is dismantling it.
Yeah. The whole world is going to hell.
He's taking it apart.
Yeah, look how much has changed. Oh, you know what else I wanted to talk about? The fucking National Endowment of the Arts stuff that everybody's all up in arms about. That they're gonna vote to whether or not to basically defund it completely, I guess, right?
Right.
For all of the people that I see mentioning this, and I know there's little things here and there where there's some, disadvantaged students that may benefit here and there and stuff. Fine, but for all the people that are really up in arms about this, I would like to know if any of them, and I know the answer to this, I bet none of them can name any piece of art that they've enjoyed that came as that was done as a result of a grant from the National Endowment of Arts. It's always this weird, super fucking avant-garde kind of shit that so few people enjoy or appreciate. You know what I mean? It's like,
well, but what about
Piss Christ
PBS?
Was one.
PBS is at risk because of this.
So?
And PBS gives us stuff like Sesame Street. I love Sesame Street.
Yeah, dude. Well, if it's so great, then how come they can't support themselves as a business like other entertainment companies do?
Yeah, it's weird. You'd think someone would want to snatch that up because it's it would still make money, right?
Right. I don't think that Sesame Street is going to go away, but it doesn't have commercials. That's part of it.
Oh.
Okay.
PBS, they don't do that,
Yeah, I mean,
they only have commercials for themselves, but it's different.
Do you really?
And I'm sure that somebody would buy Sesame Street if they were going to go under.
The issue
but
is,
why does it have to be that way?
The issue is, do you think that it's a reasonable function of government to take money, steal money from people in the form of taxes, and give it to a television station?
No, not at all. But I don't think. Then this whole conversation is moot because I don't think they should take money from anybody.
Well, okay, but
I think if they're going to spend the amount of money that they spend on bullshit that is destructive, they should at least keep up the appearance that they're supporting construction.
I don't know. I think that this is one of those things where people also think that if, say, you were to do away with the federal Department of Education, that would somehow end school and education in general. And right. I think people get caught up with this idea of the National Endowment of the Arts, that's how art happens. No, it isn't. There's going to be art in every last corner of the fucking world, no matter what anyone does. So it's okay. And actual successful art is going to come from people wanting to support it. So that, you know what I mean? It should just I just can't agree with the idea that government should be taking tax money and going, here, we'll pay you to make this fucking retarded sculpture that everyone says is great, but really it's just kind of an abstract piece of shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's beautifying our downtown, is it?
I do, but
I'd rather look at graffiti. Sorry.
Repercussions than you're seeing. Such as, we grew up in a privileged place where our public school had lots of money to let us try playing instruments, teach us how to paint, teach us how to sew stuff, teach us to lay a foundation for creativity. So, maybe we could go out in the world and create on our own without any help from anybody. But without that money going down into the school system and into arts programs designed for kids and younger people and people who can't afford that stuff on their own or wouldn't have access to it on their own. It's more than giving somebody money to make an abstract sculpture.
No, I get that.
And if I had the option, if they were going to tax me and I had the option of checking boxes of what my money would pay for, if I had to pay taxes, I would check the box that said arts. I don't have a choice, so I'm going to say I wish some of my money was still going to that because they're going to take it anyway.
Yeah, no, and like I said, I think it's fine to have to be for whatever. Yeah, obviously, if they're going to be taking the money, it's not one of the worst things is to give art supplies to poor kids. Fine.
And it also makes up a teeny tiny percentage of the money, of our money that's being spent anyway. It's a red herring.
Yeah, I get that. I don't care about it. That's the thing. You know, there's plenty of ways to get those art supplies to those kids, and I doubt that's really a huge chunk of what they do there anyways. But, you know, I think there's plenty of ways to do that. Why not just set that up as its own organization and be very simple? I've volunteered at a place before that kind of does that same thing, that takes donations and stuff and takes in art supplies and textbooks and all kinds of stuff, and then teachers that work at schools that can't afford them would come in and get them for free. That stuff is going on all over. People are pretty cool about stuff like that. You know, there's a lot of support for those kind of schools. Anyways, what I'm saying is I just don't like so much of what they do. I don't agree with, and I don't give a fuck about, and I think it's ludicrous that there's these fucking hack artists out there that get these giant grants to make shit that so few people understand or appreciate anyways, or give a fuck about, you know?
Right. Yeah, totally.
So whatever. Yeah, keep giving the supplies to the poor kids. That's fine. But then, you know, you don't need the giant National Endowment of the Arts to do that. I understand if we just talk, but like that it's such a drop in the bucket. But like everything is, like, if we just constantly, every issue that came up went like, well, it's not military spending, so so it's not real. You know what I mean? It's just something to talk about.
It's true. Yeah, totally. I just don't see like what problems it's solving to do that.
To me, it might be solving a philosophical problem, like I was saying about the role of government not being to give art grants, which I would agree with you, but I could say that about 90% of what government does.
Right, exactly. And like, do you think that they're going to start adhering to that ideology all across the board, or is it just
it'll be completely hypocritical, like every administration is, and it'll just be all political and retarded. Yeah, no, totally. Yeah. You know, I'm not trying to be all, you know, on the Trump train. Or
why do you suddenly love the Republicans so much?
Yeah, whatever. That's just an area that I agree with. And a lot of them, it's probably more of a malicious feeling of like, fuck these liberal art student fags and blah, blah, blah. I'm not coming at it from that angle. I'm literally saying it makes sense because it just doesn't, to me, make it, you know, it shouldn't be a role of government to do. But I also feel that way about the Department of Education, and everybody calls people crazy that say that. But, you know, I look at the Department of Education as something masquerading as a way to ensure quality of education for people. We all know that's not happening. You know, it really is just a way to homogenize education to be a better brainwashing tool to me. So if you did away with the public school system in general tomorrow, people would not stop learning. You know, the human mind would still be naturally inquisitive. You know, and there's so much evil and brainwashing involved in the public school system that it wouldn't scare me at one single bit to just dissolve the entire fucking thing and let families and communities deal with it on their own, however they see fit. I know that sounds terrifying to a lot of people, and it sounds crazy, but, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just not scared of that stuff. Fuck
it. I do. I feel like without the Department of Education, there would be like a power vacuum, and something new would take its place anyway.
Yeah, totally.
Just like with people who homeschool, they still follow a specific curriculum, and now like a majority of homeschoolers are involved in various homeschooling networks that regulate the way that they homeschool in order to adhere to whatever law that needs to be adhered to in terms of educating.
Okay, fine. Yeah, but they're still closer to making a individual choice.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, they're closer, but it's not
sovereignty.
Without regulation.
Sure. But to me, I mean, like, our education was fucking ridiculous in some ways. Yeah, like they teach you math and you can learn science if you want, whatever. But there are mainly our historical education and the programming that went on in general in school.
Yeah, don't work ahead, don't read ahead, don't learn ahead, slow down to everyone else's pace. Or if you're smart, we isolate you and put you with a bunch of weird kids.
Sure.
And make it like super weird for you to embrace your smartness.
But just the way that like your average high school kind of runs like a prison, and you're this mindless robotic day in day out, shuffled here, shuffled there, blah blah blah. Sit there and listen to some idiot that you hate, and everything you do, you get in trouble, and they serve you fucking poison and garbage in the cafeteria. You know what I mean? It just had this the overall brainwashing and prisoner training effect that I'm talking about.
Right. Yes.
That prepares you to either become a prisoner or enter the workforce as a drone. We all know this. It's a cliche at this point.
Prepares you to submit.
Yes.
In whatever fashion you choose.
That and the bullshit history, I'm still really, really pissed about.
Christopher Columbus.
Yeah.
Why the fuck are we still learning about him?
Exactly. So.
Well, why are we still learning
the
fake story?
All of that stuff is products of the Department of Education, because it all becomes standards and procedures and blah blah blah, and they're uniform across the country. You know what I'm saying? Or at least statewide in a lot of cases. And it really just takes the it removes you further and further from any kind of level of sovereignty or choice in the way that your kids are educated and stuff, the further it goes along. So I just I forget what my original point with this was, but I'm just
fuck the Department of Education,
dude. And imagine without living a life of, imagine if as a kid you were just a little freer and you didn't spend 40 hours a fucking week in that place. Aren't you a little bit pissed about that? All of those sunny days that you were sitting there looking out there, oh my god, I would fucking give anything to be out of here.
Yeah. I could ride my bike anywhere.
Yeah, I don't think it's a great way to raise kids, honestly. Learning is good, teaching is good, but being locked away and forced to do repetitive work that really isn't mind expanding for most of your childhood, I don't see how people think that's a good idea still at this point.
Well, it was that whole system was designed to prepare you for factory work.
Basically, yeah.
Which there's none of in this country anymore. So, yeah.
What do you? How do you know that?
I did an event when I was at the last job. It was some group that was talking about taking a hard look at education, and it was trying to have a whole different philosophy on how you teach kids.
Okay.
And they talked about how that's how it originated. They had a nice video going over the history. I don't really remember what they were talking about. It was having a teacher work with maybe 5 kids instead of 30 or something.
Right.
And promoting stuff that they would use and not just banging their head against the wall with math that they're never going to fucking need.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, that's what I would love to see.
I mean, not that math isn't necessary or anything like that, but people
honestly,
who aren't going down that road don't necessarily have to understand,
that's the thing. You learn
a bunch of intense mathematics.
Most of the math that most of us are going to use in everyday life for the rest of our lives, you pretty much got that by about 5th grade. Pretty good.
Yeah.
There's not much else that really comes up all that often unless you work in some kind of, work in some kind of field that requires it. That's about it. Once in a while you set up a simple algebraic equation, possibly. That's what the average person does. That's about as far as it goes. So yeah, what the fuck? I would love to see things be more specific or just free. I don't know what really did we learn. I've learned everything I know that makes me unique at all, or makes me feel like I kind of have a grip on things. I learned way after I was out of school. What the fuck were we learning that justified being locked away 9 months a year for 12 years?
Yeah. Let's see. Some math, basic writing, reading.
I remember no science. 0.
The rules of dodgeball.
The rules of dodgeball. Yeah. But no, my theory is that, that's like you said, that's not the point of it at all. The point is to train you, and it's more behavioral manipulation than teaching.
Yeah.
I think it's good exposure to stuff. I mean, the way that it's set up is not, optimal. But being exposed to the complicated mathematics is a good thing, because you might not know that you have a passion for it until you see it and you see what it does. And I think that, just finding your passion and being able to focus on that in whatever educational environment should kind of be the approach instead of just do everything.
You know what's weird? I always wanted to take like a woodworking class. I always wanted like a better education on how to build stuff and make stuff with my hands and use tools. And our high school didn't have that. And I still don't know how to do that stuff. Because I don't have somewhere to do it. They got rid of it by the time I was there.
Oh, wow.
They
okay.
did. Shit.
Yeah.
So here, let's do this thing. The weed goggles. Do you guys take a look at this?
Okay. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, where is this from, Andrea? Do you know? Las Vegas. Okay. Just months after Nevada voters approved recreational marijuana, law enforcement is cracking down on impaired drivers. So they set up this demonstration where drivers could wear marijuana impairment goggles. That's fucking hilarious. Let's check out this news report here.
Voters or Nevada voters approved recreational marijuana. Law enforcement is planning to crack down on impaired drivers. And 13 Action News reporter Marissa Kinniston tells us how they
Are you guys looking at this while I'm playing it?
Yeah.
Okay.
plan to keep you safe on the roads.
Blurry vision and
We plan to keep you safe on the roads. That's a new one. That's a new weird news lady voice.
Yeah. Give me safe on the road.
perception. That's what I was experiencing with these marijuana impairment goggles.
She's riding a tricycle around a cone. This is ridiculous. I'd love to see what those things look like because, honestly, as stoned as you ever get, things don't necessarily look all that different. You know
what happens? All the cars behind you become cop cars.
That's
the only thing that changes.
That would be the goggles that they should have. Yeah. Just everything is a cop.
Law enforcement had me drive around this.
Oh, she's hitting the cone. She can't do it. What the fuck are these? Just like the drunk goggles? Remember they used to let us wear those in like when the police would come to school for some reason and fucking at an assembly or whatever. Here, trying the drunk goggles. That's what it's like.
Look how fun it is to get.
By the way,
those
drunk goggles that they have you put on. That's what it would be like if you took 25 shots of whiskey in an hour. Those things were ridiculous, and I would just love to see what these marijuana goggles.
Of course, to show even if adults can now legally smoke a small amount of marijuana, they still can't legally get behind the wheel. Right now, the governor and his team are hammering out the details.
Like she's fucking up this whole obstacle course and shit that they have set up. I would love to go there and smoke a huge blunt and jump on that tricycle and just fucking murder that obstacle course on my first try.
Yeah.
Like, no, well, you have to put the goggles. Like, no, how about I actually smoke weed and just ace this fucking entire thing? And probably I'll be better at it than if I was sober. I wouldn't give a fuck at all, and I'd be like, I'm not doing that. I'm gonna get stoned to shit. I will ride around these cones all day.
This is actually pretty fun.
Yeah, exactly. All right, you've proven your point, sir. You can go now. Let me just do it a couple more times. Hold on, set them up like this. Somebody time me. Let's go.
Tax and how to regulate this new law before it goes into effect. But while this is going on, local law enforcement is taking a proactive approach by demonstrating through these goggles what it's like to drive after smoking.
But it's going to replicate things like
drive.
That's a proactive approach.
They got some fucking cunt from the sheriff's office about to talk here.
depth perception, your reactionary time when you're behind the wheel, being able to stop in time for things in the roadway like a pedestrian crossing the street.
Recreational marijuana could be sold in dispensaries across the valley as early as this summer, but if you do drive high, you'll look like how I was looking like when I was wearing these goggles, and you could get a DUI.
You'll look like how I was looking like.
Yeah, that's good talking.
Slick.
Take the goggles off.
Yeah. She put the goggles on her mouth.
She can't actually believe this. This lady looks like she's partied a little bit in her time. She can't actually believe what she's saying. Who doesn't? Who are these sheltered people that don't know a bunch of people that drive stoned all the time? I don't know who that is.
That was the hobby in high school. That's what
all
you did.
you do is drive around smoking weed. It's stoned as fuck.
It's beautiful, really.
I really don't.
I don't know a pizza delivery driver who doesn't smoke weed. They don't exist.
Pretty much the whole reason for doing the job is like you get to hang out in your car and listen to music and smoke weed. That's the whole idea. Yeah, it says in this article, law enforcement is worried about the misconception that marijuana doesn't affect a user like alcohol might.
Misconception.
Yeah, that misconception that is a result of 95% of the population's personal experience from doing both. Yeah. But there's this big misconception. I don't know where people got this.
Well, I'll tell you, as I understand it, I feel differently after alcohol than I do after weed, but I must be wrong.
No, that's fake news. Your organization's terrible.
The cops tell me otherwise.
That's so. It's the law enforcement never fails to amaze me by being absolutely detached and patronizing and completely off the mark almost every single time. They really think their shit doesn't stink. They really, I mean, these people are completely insane. Misconception. Yeah, the misconception that happened when everyone but you tried both of these things and decided that marijuana is not nearly it doesn't cause nearly the impairment that alcohol might. There you go.
Right.
Said the shit out of that.
And is it any amount of marijuana means that you're driving under the influence? Or alcohol, you can get up to 0.08, which isn't very high, but you can have a drink and still legally drive. Are they saying you can't take a hit of weed 5 hours before you're going to drive?
If you smoke, you have to wait about a month before you can drive again.
Right. Right.
Until it's fully out of your system. Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. And I know that they've been developing
a weed breathalyzer, but I don't understand how it's supposed. It doesn't make any sense in terms of figuring out the concentration or the effects that it's having on you.
Yeah, there can be so many variables to that. Yeah, that's kind of why.
And how is it measuring it? You don't exhale weed.
Mm-hmm.
And when you've smoked weed, you exhale it once while you're smoking it, and then you're not exhaling it anymore.
I don't know. There might be particles that stick around and dissipate. There must be if they're trying to do that.
There must be. It seems like there's just no way to enforce it without just arresting weed users. They introduced a recreational weed bill for Illinois.
Yeah, I saw that. I was just pulling that up. Illinois State Senator Heather Steens, I think. Ads. And Illinois State Representative Kelly Cassidy introduced identical legislation Wednesday in both General Assembly chambers to legalize and tax recreational marijuana for adults in the state. Yeah, of course, throw tax in there because I hate when people do that, dude. That's such a sickening thing to me when people go, well, just think, if you legalize weed, we can tax it. That'll be so much tax money. What? You think they need more money? The amount of fucking money they're taking in and wasting? Oh, it's more money for schools and blah, and they think people always, whenever they want to incentivize raising taxes, they make it sound like taxes only go to totally philanthropic pursuits,
right.
It's money for food, for soup kitchens, and
they definitely won't give themselves raises with all this money.
Oh yeah, 90% of it won't be thrown away. Fucking squandered.
Because we'll call their office and leave a message.
Our voice
about
will
how
be heard.
We don't like that.
We'll petition them.
Yeah, and then they'll have to respond.
Yeah, dude. How are you gonna tax? By the way, this is the thing. Once weed becomes legal, and they always have some bullshit wherever it becomes legal. It's legal, but you can only carry this much, and you can grow it, but only this many plants, and blah blah blah. It's like that. That's the whole issue with it. Is if it was totally legal and unregulated, like it should be, anybody could grow it, and you'd have no way of taxing and regulating anything about it.
Right. This bill would keep it illegal for the guy that you're getting weed from now. It would still be illegal for him to give you weed.
You gotta be registered and set up.
You can only go through.
We need our cut. Definitely.
Well, and it's already bad enough in Illinois. Okay, so we've talked a little bit before about how it's really, really, really difficult to get a medical card in Illinois. There's a really specific list of diseases. Mm-hmm. You have to have tried a certain number of options for a certain number of times before they'll consider you for a medical card.
You have to try all the pharmaceutical poison first.
Right, for like a year.
Before we let you use something
you're allowed to get
proven to work. Yeah.
And on top of that, when you register for your medical card, it is permanently attached to your identity and your driver's license and your state-issued IDs. So if a cop pulls up behind you and runs your plates, they'll see that you have a medical card and they can pull you over and make sure that you're doing everything legally in terms of your medical marijuana.
Yeah, dude, it's still complete fucking bullshit. It's still tyranny. I mean,
right.
And it's also, it says that, it's going to be regulated like alcohol, where people would have to be 21. So it's still a way to get...
That's exactly how it is in Colorado. It's like they're just modeling after Colorado's.
Yeah, and it's still... So you still have a way to get kids into the legal system young. You know what I mean? I mean, that's one of the biggest problems with it, and I've seen it happen. You know, it's not a good thing to be arrested and shuffled through the legal system at a young age. It's kind of damaging, you know? And it really sets you up for this idea that that you're like, it's like you get really familiar with the idea that society doesn't approve of you, and it makes you feel like an outcast at a young age before you're old enough to be secure in who you are. You know what I mean? When you're like 15, 16 going through the legal system, it's very confusing. You know, you feel at odds with your society. It's not a healthy way to go through some of your most formative years. So they're preserving that. You know, they're preserving the control over it still, and
right, and the money they can make, and
yeah, that's the thing. I don't know. Just going back to what I was saying before, it's everybody knows that the legal system doesn't produce rehabilitated people. It turns people into worse criminals. And so, like, everything that happened as a result of me wanting to just hang out and smoke some weed, fuck around, you know, and do shit with my friends, whatever, run around town. Everything that happened as a result of all of that relatively innocent behavior turned me into a way worse criminal. Introduced me to people that fucking gave me cocaine and heroin and fucking, you know what I mean? It just goes from there, and then you start getting it normalized. That world becomes normalized, and then you're stealing shit eventually, and you're fucking, and it's not the weed, it's the legal system. Fucking, if they just let me smoke weed, I probably just would have been a hippie forever.
Right. I never would have gotten hard.
And turned into a militant because of it, because I hated the government so much. Because of all that shit. Anyways, you see what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I never even went to prison. You know, imagine kids that go to prison. And I mean, it's 10 times, 50 times worse, whatever, you know, so.
Yeah, it's a very intricate thing that they've done here, and that they can make us think that they're giving us the freedom of smoking weed, but really they're just like tightening their clutches on it.
It's still absolutely sickening to me.
It's the out of network.
You get zero say in what plant I carry and consume. Zero. None. For any reason. I'm sorry. That's how I feel. That's all I'll accept. I'll be fucking furious until that's the case. Until anything makes any sense. I will be very mad.
That's the only option.
I mean, Jesus, dude, what do you think was going on before weed was illegal? You think shit was just flying off the handles? Just complete chaos in the streets?
Well, of course not, because we have cops.
Yeah. Oh, but don't forget, that wasn't the potent weed that they have today. That was not as serious.
Yeah.
So when you guys...
It doesn't cause the reefer madness.
Well, that's when you guys were saying, when the government and the media was saying, it's so terrible, it makes black men rape white women, and it makes Mexicans do this, and everybody's going crazy from weed. So you're saying that was all fucking made up then? You're admitting that the way you made it illegal was to completely lie? You know? That's
so
such a
undo it,
circular logic. Like, today's weed is not what it used to be. Oh yeah, like when you totally exaggerated it to get it to make it illegal. That weed,
the weed that was throwing people into fits and making them jump out of windows. That wasn't
right. They thought they could
more
fly.
like today's weed.
Oh, here's something. look at this. I just saw an ad on the side of this article that says, "Is marijuana taking over your life?" How to,
yes.
Here's some of the signs. I'm waiting for it to
load. All right,
load.
let's hear it.
Do you know if marijuana is taking over your life? This is from
I'm going to guess yes.
Recovery Rehabs. Many consumers have become completely dependent on the drug, but do not even know this. Experts say identifying an addiction is the first step in dealing with the problem, but quite often it takes a friend or relative expressing their worry about your consumption to hint you of a possible problem. There are a couple signs that will warn of a dependency problem. Let's look at some of the warning signs. You consume more to get the same effects as before. No, that's called really enjoying smoking weed and doing it all the time. That's no big deal. That's not one key.
I've got that one big time, yeah.
Yeah, one key factor that can determine if marijuana is taking over your life is, let's see, let me skip ahead, is that you need a higher dose to get the same, quote, high. Well, yeah, I mean, the more THC that's in your system, that makes sense, right? You need more to get high. But trust me, you can smoke weed every day, all day long, and you're still getting pretty high most of the time. It doesn't really go away.
No.
It's not like it just, they make it sound like it's like, eventually you're smoking pounds of weed a day. Like, no, that's
right.
not
just
what happens.
Just to feel anything.
Just to feel normal. You can't control your consumption. Have you promised yourself and others that you would stop or at least reduce your consumption? Who does that? Who's getting pressured to stop smoking weed? Where is that happening? Only to discover that you couldn't quite fulfill that promise.
Sometimes I wake up with a pipe and a lighter in my hands. I don't know how they got there.
It's like I just passed out with this nasty thing in my hands. I'm
disgusting.
Yeah. In a blur of a marijuana-fueled frenzy I have no memory of. These are clear proofs.
How many people did I kill?
Wait, it says these are clear proofs that you do not have a life of your own. You cannot interact normally with loved ones because you do not want them to talk about your addiction. Holy fuck. Who is this trying to appeal to? Who smokes weed and would ever take this seriously? You ignore your responsibilities. One of the downsides of marijuana is its ability to make you focus so much on it that you begin to forget other responsibilities. Excessive weed consumption can actually impair your ability to focus on your studies or on your job.
No.
Or excessive weed function, what I would say, is it might make you realize that your studies and your job are bullshit. Maybe that's it,
opens
man.
your eyes, man.
Yeah. With such effects, you cannot perform well in your normal day-to-day activities. You get kicked out of your job or school in just a short while.
That did happen to you, though.
What?
Well, someone tried to kick you out of your job for being high. You told that story a few episodes ago when you worked for a coffee shop.
Oh, yeah, Starbucks, yeah. They were like, we're going to send you home. You're too high. I'm like, dude, shut up.
No, you're not.
I think I told the lady, I was like, dude, give me like an apple and a glass of water, and I'll come back in 5 minutes. Totally fine. Don't worry. Like, everything's going to be good. And I just refused to leave. I was like, I'm just going to go back to work. Relax.
What are you going to do? Fire me for not leaving?
Well, that's what I also told her. I was like, I thought that was the thing here. I thought everybody was high. I didn't know that was an issue. It was like when George Costanza had sex with the maid on his desk, and he tried to play the, like, is that a problem? I did not realize that would be an issue.
Yeah.
I did that, basically. So when weed starts preventing you from performing well in your job, it's taking over your life. Weed is no doubt a dangerous substance, and it is clear that those who take it those who take it constantly and abusively will face negative consequences. Some people get so addicted to the drug.
Marijuana.
Yeah, some people get so addicted to the drug that they are ready to consume it even when they know it will cause them some sort of trouble. That goes to show just how far some people have lost control of their lives to marijuana. So, Andrea, are we in denial, or is this thing completely crazy? Which is it?
Are we sure it's not a satirical article?
It's not. It's even got a phone number. Recovery Rehabs.
That's crazy. That's crazy. No, I'm not addicted to marijuana. You know how I know? When I had to quit to pass a drug test, I just did.
Huh? Yeah?
I just did. Like, it wasn't a struggle. It wasn't hard.
Oh, yeah. I had to be in rehab. I mean, it sucked ass, but
Yeah, it's not fun, but like it's not like I was like, oh, I gotta smoke my weed, man.
I had to quit for 4 months for a rehab one time, and I just didn't want to. They had random drug tests, and I really just didn't want to deal with the stress of like still smoking and having to get detox all the time and shit, you know.
Yeah.
And I did start smoking that synthetic weed though.
Ew, really?
Yeah, I did it for like a few weeks, and I was like, you know, I think this stuff is making me crazy. I don't really like this anymore. It was a very weird high. First of all, you had to smoke like a whole fucking joint to yourself pretty quick to kind of feel high. And then you only felt it wasn't really like weed. It just was sort of a little like weed. But it was a very synthetic, you know, you can tell the difference if you've done a bunch of drugs. It had that synthetic feel. It had that like that kind of neurological disassociative sort of thing, you know, where you're like
staticky.
Yeah. It didn't feel good. So maybe I am a weed addict. I don't know. It sucked, but you know, honestly, the first time smoking weed again after that 4 months was one of the most fun I've ever had in my entire life. I was like,
totally,
you know.
And you know what? There's a difference, I think, between being addicted to something and saying this is super fun.
Yeah, and I just need it all day, every day to leave the house or do anything. I think that the funny thing about weed is it might be addictive, but it doesn't ruin your life. Like when you run out of weed, people typically don't go out and commit crimes to get weed. You know what I mean? And they don't. You're not fucking like stealing from your grandmother to get weed. In most cases, I'm sure people do it, but they're just shitty people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Weed's funny because it is. I think I can't deny that like if I'm gonna even walk to the store, I'm probably gonna get high first because it's just gonna be easier to do. I'm gonna do that, you know. And like if I do a thing, pretty much anything, I'm probably gonna get high first. So like I wouldn't go. We were talking about going on a cruise. Darcy was kind of mad at me because she's not really mad, but she didn't understand this. We were talking about going on a cruise, and I'm like, okay, you know, that's kind of cheesy, whatever. But I could see that kind of being fun once. I've never done anything like that. Like, let me ask you this: what's the deal with like bringing weed on this cruise? Do you think? She's like, oh no, you can't do stuff like that. You know, that'll be. You know, you're crossing into another country, and so you know they have checks and whatever kind of customs stuff goes on and whatever. So I'm like, why would the fuck would I ever get onto a boat ever for any reason to do anything without weed? Are you out of your fucking mind? I'm just gonna stand there. The fuck's gonna happen? Like, you know. That's what I'm picturing. If I didn't have weed on a cruise, I'd just be like standing in the middle of like, you know, the deck on the outside, just with my arms folded, just staring straight ahead, just like, this fucking sucks.
Great boat.
Yeah, and I'd be just getting shit faced constantly, you know, and then chain smoking cigarettes. But like, I'm not
safer. Both of those are safer and better than weeds. So.
And then she goes, you know, you can get weed when they stop, you know, and they let you out for the afternoon or whatever to go explore some little place. You get weed there. I'm like, well, then can we bring it back on the boat? No, probably not. Well, then what the fuck? Oh, I'll get high once at 2 p.m. You think that's fine? You know, that's not, dude. No. What? Like we're gonna have dinner, a couple of drinks, go outside afterwards at night on a boat under the stars. And have no weed? What are you, insane? I'm not doing that. So what I'm saying is it might be addictive, but it's not a problem.
Well, also about cruise ships, I wish David Box hadn't fallen asleep because he was on a cruise one time when he was much younger, and he and a friend of his came across some people who had weed, and they totally smoked their weed with him. And I think they might have been employees of the cruise ship because I think the rules in terms of like searching their shit are different for the employees.
Yeah, I don't really know this for sure, but what people were telling me lately is, you can't bring weed on a cruise.
Maybe
that might not be true.
That was
I don't know.
10 years ago probably that he did that. So,
if it's not true, I apologize and I will go because that sounds pretty fun to be out in the middle of the ocean and get high as shit.
Yeah.
That's what sounds fun about it to me. But
it's international waters.
Yeah.
I'll bet they have a weed cruise. They have weed-themed everything popping up now. There are weed hotels and weed resorts that you can stay at in Colorado. People are having weed-themed weddings where they have just pass out joints and they're just jars of weed everywhere, and those are the take-home favors and
Well, that would be what. Well, here. By the way, you're having a wedding in a couple months. What do you think that's going to be like?
Yeah. Quieter.
Yeah, but there's going to be plenty of weed being smoked.
Yeah,
definitely. Are you guys having it at some official place? Where's the reception?
We're having it in an art gallery. So
really?
Yeah.
The reception?
They're probably. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's cool.
Are we gonna be able to smoke weed in there?
I don't know if we'll be able to smoke weed in there, but we'll be able to smoke weed here or there. So look, I don't know what the fuck you want from me.
I just want you to provide me with a place to smoke weed during your wedding. That's what I want.
Well, we're gonna book a party bus through someone we know, so I have a feeling that'll be fine.
It wasn't on the last party bus.
That's true, but that's not the same thing.
Okay. Whatever. I have no idea what you're talking about. Anyways, do you have to get up early, or are you staying up for a minute?
Oh, goodness. No, I have to be up in 6 hours.
You got to go?
Yeah.
All right. I guess we're out. We out on the Overdose. We'll talk to you guys in a couple of days. Everybody enjoy yourselves. Be good to one another out there. That's the main thing that we want to tell everyone. Just stop the hate, everybody. Come on.
Just come together.
What's with all that hate? Yep. OverdoseTalkShow.com. Later.
Bye.